Damilola Tayabudu, and I'm here with other group members. We'll be talking about the African Commission on Human and People's Rights. Under this topic, we've been asked to talk about the introduction to it, the jurisdiction, the composition, and also the mandate. The mandate being the objective of the commission. So after gaining independence, many African countries were faced with human rights abuse, um, authoritarian governance, and different violation of their fundamental freedoms. Having experienced all this, there was an obvious desire, there was an obvious need to create a mechanism whereby the human rights will be protected and promoted across the continent, coupled with the Pan-African movement. We know what the Pan-African movement is. That's the intellectual, the political, and the social movement of uniting and empowering African people of African descent, not only in the African continent, but also in the diaspora, together. Also addressing the Pan-African movement was also aimed at addressing colonial oppression of the colonialists, inequality, racism, and all sorts. And also, there was the other need to create a mechanism to protect and promote human rights was also the African Charter. That's like a regional instrument, human rights instrument to promote and also protect human rights, the human rights of everybody. So now you would ask what the African Commission on Human and People's Rights means. This is a regional and people's rights that promotes and protects the human and people's rights, and also interprets the African Charter. When we say interpret the African Charter, this means that it analyzes the scope, the meaning, the functions of the provision of that commission. That is, it ensures that the principles and rights that are enshrined in the Charter are implemented and also effective, and they are understood by legal institutions, by stakeholders, and state members. This commission was inaugurated on the 2nd of November 1987 in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, and it has its secretariat, which is its headquarters in Gambia, in Banjul, Gambia. Basically, the commission, like I said earlier, is aimed at protecting. It's a critical institution that is aimed at protecting people and humans' rights. It promotes their rights and their fundamental rights and freedom. I'll delve into the composition. So the composition of the African Commission on Human and People's Rights, it is an 11-member composition. And these individuals serve in their own personal and individual capacity. They do not represent any African state. They, according to Article 31, subsection 1 of the Charter, it ensures that these people are chosen, the 11 members are chosen from the highest, they have the highest morality, competence, and integrity. They are impartial. Also, these people are allowed to serve for 6 years, but can be re-elected indefinitely. that means they can re-elect them time and time again. It's not like we have like the president who has just 2 terms to run. Also, the commission was officially inaugurated by the former head of state of Gambia, His Excellency Sir Dauda Jawara, in Gambia. Going to the bureau of the commission, the commission, the chairman and the vice chairman itself elects the commission elects the chairman and the vice chairman of the commission, and these people are elected to serve for 2 years. But unlike the 11 members that can be elected over and over again indefinitely, the chairman and vice chairman can only be elected once after they've been elected before. The bureau of this commission coordinates the activities of the commission and supervises, accesses the work of the commission secretariat. It's also the chairman and the vice chairman also have the power, they have the discretion to make decisions in matter of emergency on behalf of every other member, providing that a report is given at the next meeting of the commission. The secretariat of the commission is okay. So the secretary of the commission is appointed by the chairperson of the AU, that is the African Union, and it also appoints other staff that would enable the smooth operation of the commission. And the secretariat of the commission is also responsible to provide administrative, technical, and logistic support to the commission. To just touch briefly on the jurisdiction, we have five jurisdictions of the commission, which are the territorial jurisdiction, material jurisdiction, advisory jurisdiction, enforcement jurisdiction, and personal jurisdiction. I would allow Mr. Somi take over from here. Thank you.
By making things a lot easier. So I will just run through very fast. Okay, so moving on from where she stopped, I think I'd like to talk about the fact that there is jurisdiction and how the body carries out their duties. I would like to talk on those two. And talking about those two, I would like to start using a story of a guy called Kabo from the Republic of Rwanda. He works in Angola, and he has the permit, the work permit to work in Angola, and he goes on doing his stuff. He was arrested. He was treated in a very he was arrested, detained for several days without access to food, water, subject to cruel and dehumanizing conditions, and eventually was deported. And knowing that this is a violation of his fundamental human rights, along with other victims, he wrote a petition with the help of an NGO against the government of Angola to the unit of the African Commission in Angola. And going by that story, it clearly shows us that if a member state, of course, we have 55 members in the African, as member countries that are part of the African Commission, African Union on people on human and people's rights. So basically, we have 55 member states. And these 55 member states, if they have to travel, if any citizen from any of the country move from one country to another, part of what this commission helps to do is to use the instrument of the African Charter to make sure that their fundamental human rights is not violated. So in the illustration I give, Cabo is based in another state. In Botswana. He moved over to Angola. The African Charter provides a framework by which his right will be protected. But the African Commission goes ahead to help make sure that what is in the African Charter is being followed, is being stick to, is being adhered to. So that's the essence of my story. So going by that, I would now like to talk about the jurisdiction. The Commission jurisdiction covers 55 African Union member states, meaning that all the civil, political, economic, social, and cultural rights of citizens and the member state are covered, provided that they are part of the African Union membership. So the Commission makes sure that the Charter is not just a piece of antiquity. It is something that is adhered to, is stick to by the member state. It's not just a piece of paper. My colleague has spoken about the composition, but mentioning briefly, I would like to say that the 11 member states are elected in a secret ballot by the representative of different African member states. So she has also spoken about the mandate and the function of the commission, but let me emphasize on the fact that the major reason why the African Commission exists is to make sure that the African Charter is not just a piece of paper. So as we speak, towards the end, I'm going to talk about what they are doing to be able to make that a more reality. But the bottom line is that they are there to make sure that if I, as a Nigerian, travel to any other member country state, I am not, my human right is not violated. If it's violated, they can help me take it up. All I just need to do is to make sure that I report to them. And why is that very important for emphasis? If my human right has been violated in Nigeria, all I need to do is go to court. And, the rest will be story. But if my right is violated outside Nigeria, the jurisdiction of the Nigerian Constitution is limited to Nigeria. It's not binding on Angola. There is nothing binding on Angola from Nigerian Constitution. Therefore, it means that if my right is violated, I cannot bring the Nigerian Constitution up. And also, I cannot bring up a lawyer from Nigeria and say, okay, go and help me fight out my matters without going through the African Commission. And so they become very important, very vital, because they are like a nexus between the African member states to make sure that rights are protected according to the Charter. Now, moving away from that very quickly, so they receive complaints, they investigate the complaint, and then they make necessary recommendation. So they also monitor and report on human rights. So the cases of human rights violation going on in Nigeria, they are also in a way empowered to check from country to country whether each country is violating the rights of its citizens. And they provide periodic reports and public statements on all of that. During election, it will not be a difficult thing. It will not be a surprising thing, that's the word, to find a member or a representative of the African Commission coming around to monitor election to make sure that human rights are not violated during Nigerian elections. So these are the ways they do the monitoring and the reporting on human rights. Now, let me quickly talk about the framework. Section 31 mentions the fact that the African Commission consists of 11 members chosen from among African personality recognized for expertise in human and people's rights, most especially lawyers. And when they are choosing like that, they now break the work into groups. And somebody can head a particular group and be a member of another group within the 11 people. Article 32, commissioners must be nationals of African Union member states and serve in their own personal capacity, upholding impartiality and independence, meaning that the 11 members are not representing different countries that they are coming from, even though they were elected in a secret ballot by the African representative. Okay, Article 33, commissioners are elected by secret ballot, just like I've said. Each commissioner serves a 6-year term with eligibility for re-election. That's Article 36. Of course, the African Commission cannot just exist without a legal framework, because in the first place, what they want to protect is human rights. So they need a legal framework to do that. And it is that same legal framework that also establishes the commission and also spelled out what are the rights that has to be protected. So Article 45, the commission promotes human and people's rights through various activities, collecting documents, conducting studies, organizing seminars. It ensures protection of human rights and people's rights by reviewing communication alleging violation from individual organizations and states. So that means that member states are the member states are not the only one covered. Yeah, the citizens of member states and organizations in the member state. That's what Article 45 sub 2 is telling us. And we could see that Article 45(4) it assists government in implementing the charter and suggesting measures to improve human rights. It's section 47 to 59 talks about the power, 46 talks about the corporation, and lastly, what are they doing? One of the challenges they have is the enforcement of bringing in the first side of what they are supposed to do. Lack of funds, quite a number of other limitations that they have. But one of the major ways they have been addressing that, which I personally love, is that they've been canvassing and campaigning for the independence of the African Commission. And if they are able to achieve that, that means they will have their own money, then they will have their powers to execute whatever judgments they have been able to get from the African court, or whatever position they're supposed to take to be able to carry out their function or protect people's rights. Now, finally, I would like to say that the full name is the African Commission on Human and People's Rights. Now, meaning that it does not only borders on the member state. The human there talks about the individual in the member state, and the people there talks about the member state itself. And when we talk about human, the human is subdivided into two. It can be a personal human being or a judicial human being. And of course, the member state itself. And I think I would like to draw the curtain at that time. Yeah, group B. Yeah.